When you're adding on post effects to an image or animation, there's a certain order to follow to get the blurs in the right place and make sure that things that are luminance or value based are operating on the correct values. I've done my color correction and then my depth. So now anything in depth that takes advantage or takes into account value, such as bloom if I was going to use it, is reflecting the correct values I've put in my image. Now put on a little bit of glow. And this glow will show where things are just a little hot in the image, just slightly dazzling the lens. Here in my node graph, I'll pick my ZD focus, which is my last node, and right-click and choose Filter and Glow. Glow is fairly wonderful. What it does is add, as the name suggests, glow to everything. What we want to do with glow is pull it back, making it not put a glow on everything in the scene, but only certain places. In glow then, once it's on the image, we have a tolerance, and when we adjust tolerance up from 0, we dictate the low threshold in the glow. Where does the glow start? I'll pull my tolerance up, and we can see that glow really disappears. I'm going to pull it up almost to 0.2, so the glow really just hits this hot wall where that skylight or those sky portals are really gleaming on the white. It's also glowing ever so slightly right here on the highlight from my overhead chandelier, and just a little bit on the white stone of my steps. In glow then, I have a size, and I'll pull this size back just a bit. This is the amount of blur we're putting on, and I don't want my crisp edges to get too fuzzy, so I'll bring it back just under 10. We also have a brightness then. What we've said so far is, where does the glow go and how big is it? And then brightness lets us really crank around how much glow there is. In this case, I'm just about to set the back wall on fire. I'll pull this back down just under 1. And this way, it's a nice soft glow on that white wall, so the wall maintains its, well, whiteness, and doesn't have the brightness or the blur, the size, matting out any features. Now I'm going to add on a glint, right-clicking and choosing Draw and Glint. What glint does is allow us to put on tiny little stars if we need. I'll bring up the number of rays in glint to 12. And we can just start to see, right here on the bridge and on this wall, little bits of rays and things going on. I'll pull the length way back. Here's a length of 10. And what this did is took out most of the glint. And once in a while in a specular highlight, we'll just see a little bit of a star, like right here on the door. You can play with this length. Somewhere in here is kind of a happy medium. Just a little bit of a glint showing on the bottom of that bridge really helps the image along, getting the idea across that it's really nice and bright. I've got a good amount of rays, and I can rotate these and change them as needed. I'll leave it alone because I like the look of just a little bit of light wrap or bleed right there on the edge of the bridge. It's also got a tiny bit of glint showing right here on the hot spot on the door. And glint is really a great way to show the shiny objects as really shiny. We want to keep it subtle. We don't need giant disco stars in the image. What we need are little subtleties that let us know we're taking a picture of a place with a giant range in value.